Welcome to As Real as It Gets. I am your host, Lever KT. To my right, probably y'all left. I don't know if it's inverted. Up top, we got R1P's NBA analyst, Lever Weeze. And right below him, we got R1P's NFL analyst, executive producer, Mr. Jalen Wilson. How's it going today, fellas?
What up? What it do?
It's going good.
It's going good. Right, let me get Wee's volume turned up a little bit, and let's make it do what it do. So before we even get into the breaking news that broke a couple of days ago, I'm gonna give y'all what I like to call a layup line, something to get the ice going. So recently, and at some point I'm gonna actually have both Lever Weeze and Jalen do. I'm gonna have them fill out like a top five players of all time. Then we'll get to 10, 15, 20 as the season go along. But Jalen, I had Jalen do his last night, and some things I definitely disagreed with. But one of the things that he had was that he had James Harden above Allen Iverson in his list of all-time players. So Jalen, explain yourself. Then Weeze, you go.
Okay, so I feel like both resumes are similar. They both have near the same amount of All-Star games. I feel like James Harden is just a more complete player. I feel like he's better on defense, uh, even though AI has led the league a couple times and steals, but he can play passing lanes. But James Harden the better on-ball defender. Uh, of course, James Harden the better passer. Now scoring, it's up in the air with both two. But I feel like I know James Harden has choked in the past, but Allen Iverson has too. You can't deny that. Also, with the teams that James Harden had to face before to get to the finals, it's hard to beat those teams, especially when the Warriors have Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. So, I mean, I just feel like his regular season success is still good enough to put him over AI, even with lack of success in the postseason.
Wow. So Lever Weeze, I know what Allen Iverson means to you. I know at one point it was your favorite player of all time. Have at it, man.
Shit, I ain't really got nothing to say, man. AI took his team to the finals with less. I'm gonna leave it at that. In that game
He
six
did.
to seven, they had a chance to beat him. It wasn't like it was uneven. They was up both of them games by at least 15. I'm not sure the exact score, but they was up both times. So
They were.
yeah, I don't know that defense. Everybody know Harden don't play defense. There ain't nothing to talk about. Everybody know.
I feel like
Hey, hey,
it's an interesting discussion. I feel like James Harden is at the point in his career where I think players start to worry about how will people react to me as far as my standing and where I belong. We seen LeBron James do it the way he left Cleveland. I thought it was you see him walk off the court, take his jersey off. You knew he was gone, and then he teamed up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And they were supposed to win 6, 7 championships. They did ended up winning 2. And Kevin Durant did the same thing. I think in both situations they both overreacted. Kevin Durant, but I don't feel like anybody can win with Westbrook. That's just a personal opinion. But Kevin Durant did the same thing. Up 3-1. In the Western Conference Finals, they lost. He went and joined Golden State Warriors. Championships matter. Finals MVPs matter. Allen Iverson wins 1 championship. He's top 5 all time. I don't care what anybody say. Certified killer, positionalist basketball. And imagine if he played now. If he played in an era where the center isn't in the paint and he had all the space in the world to operate. One of the greatest crossovers of all time. So that was just a layup line, something that we here as well as it gets we like to do. But let's get into what we all came here for. So on, I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday, there was breaking news that James Harden finally got the trade he wanted. I believe the day before was his final antic. All the antics he been doing leading up to the season, but pretty much his press conference from Tuesday night game. John Wall wasn't happy with it. Boogie Cousins wasn't happy with it. It was time for him to go. So the Nets, they acquired James Harden. The Rockets acquire Victor Oladipo, Dante Exum, Rodney Kirkus. Probably butchered that name. 3 first-round draft picks from the Brooklyn Nets from 2022, 2024, 2026. 1 first-round pick from Milwaukee, 2022, and 4 first-round pick swaps from Brooklyn in 2021, 2023, 2025, 2027. So from here until 2027, long story short, the Rockets own the Nets. And we've seen the Nets do this in the past. The Pacers were able to get Karis LeVert, a great up-and-coming player. I think in that system, he can definitely be their leading scorer. Pacers also got a second-rounder for that trade. Cavaliers acquired Jared Allen, Taurean Prince. That was a mouthful. That was a lot to say. First impressions about that pick. Since we went to Jalen first last time, we're going to go to Weez first. This time, Weez, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, man, long overdue. They been knew he ain't want to be there, so I don't know why it took him this long. They probably could have got more if they would have traded him earlier, because I believe they was going to give up more pieces. They was going to give up Karis LeVert, Dinwiddie, I believe, and Allen. I think they all was going to Houston originally when the first proposed offer. So yeah, like good for the Rockets. Know what I'm saying? Now they could finally establish some chemistry. Now they ain't got all that negative energy in it. And it's going to be interesting to see how they play the Nets. You know what I'm saying? James Harden, KD, and Kyrie, how they bomb. And they right now, they got to make a championship for sure. Yeah, I don't know. What you think, Jalen?
What I thought when I first saw the trade, I'm like, why would the Rockets do that trade specifically? Because I'm like, if you can get Ben Simmons, who's already an all-star caliber player, who is arguably top 20, top 15, debatable. Then you get like a young piece in Tyrese Maxey in the first rounder. I'm like, why not do that trade? But then I thought about it. I'm like, well, maybe they asking price is too much. So I'm like, I have to look at trade. I'm like, okay, they gutted out the Nets draft picks forever. So I'm like, man, this is a okay trade, especially since they got Victor Oladipo out of it because they flipped Karis LeVert to the Pacers. Now we don't know if Victor Oladipo is going to play, but I just feel like it was a good trade for both sides. I feel like the Nets, where they didn't really need Harden, it helps them on paper at least. Then for the Pacers and the Rockets, I suppose it will help the Rockets depending on how Victor Oladipo, if he stays or if he gets traded again. For the Pacers, it's good because you don't got to worry about paying Victor Oladipo big money because he just coming off an injury. He's been wishy-washy in his play a little bit. So, I feel like it was good for all teams, except for the Cavs.
They got hit with a throwaway. It was the third wheel.
Alrighty, so I thought both of you had interesting viewpoints of it. I know definitely it sent shocks around the NBA, sent shocks around the sports world, period. I just think there's a big difference in the way Harden conducted himself versus the way Anthony Davis conducted himself. If you are unhappy in a situation, the NBA is a players' league, and NFL is an owners' league. And you can kind of see the difference in Deshaun Watson being frustrated in their coaching search and not being involved. Dick Vermeil called him a big baby today for saying that versus the way, how James Harden kind of conducted himself with all of that. So we're going to come back to this topic as far as the Nets and the overall landscape of this thing. Up next, we're going to go to LaMelo Ball. I kind of want to get y'all takes on that. So LaMelo Ball, I think he's pretty much leading rookies in almost 3 or 4 stat columns at least. The kid is averaging 11.8 points a game. He's averaging 7 rebounds a game and almost 7 assists a game. What in the hell does he have to do to start? You take him with your number 3 pick. Typically top 5 picks, in my opinion, unless you get lucky like the Celtics did when they were able to get Lenny Bias. Unfortunately, we were unable to see that. But what else does LaMelo Ball have to do to start? He hustles. He makes the right play. He's an elite passer, and he's a better defender than what he was given credit for. Let's start with you, Jalen. What does he have to do to start? What else does he have to do?
I mean, shoot, he might have just dropped like 80 points. 'Cause, I mean, he doesn't have to do nothing. It's the Hornets front office and they coach. It's like fine for a rookie, and I've talked to you before this started. I was like, he's a third pick. I'm like, he's supposed to be the franchise player, not Devontae Graham. Devontae Graham's ceiling is a good 6-man off the bench. LaMelo's ceiling is an all-star, superstar caliber player. You drafted this man to be the face of the franchise, and you got him coming off the bench, like ridiculous. But yeah, he can't do nothing right now. It's to me, it's all on the coaches and GM.
Hey, great take. Great point. Weez, I know you've watched a lot of Hornets games this year. I know me myself, I've seen at least 3 games in full. Why isn't he starting? What does he have to do to start?
Only thing I can really think of, like they just, since the COVID, they ain't have all the summer league, all the preseason games. You know what I'm saying? So they just probably try and get them in the field. Don't want to risk, like, previous rookies got. It's been history as people ruin they getting hurt. Like Julius Randle, he bounced back from it, but like they just probably try and protect him more than anything. But definitely, he definitely should be starting for sure. Should have been starting, but like that's the only thing that I could think of that would make sense why they not starting.
Yeah, I think it's crazy to believe he's not starting. But you did bring up something that I haven't even thought about, as far as the fact that they really didn't have a real camp. They didn't have a real summer league. I think the summer league is the best version of preseason possible because it's only rookie, second-year players, and of course, and occasionally you'll get like the Shannon Browns wanted to play in the summer league before, and he was like a 10-year vet. It's interesting. I don't know what more the kid has to do. He's been doing a wonderful job. So I like to see how long it takes before the outcry in Charlotte, and they're lucky the fans aren't in the stadium because they would have been. Charlotte fans were like, man, they'd have been going crazy. LaMelo, I can hear it now. Yeah. Alrighty, my apologies for the technical difficulties, but we're back as real as it gets. Now I wanted to touch on the Nets, and I want to ask an open-ended question. I want to get both of y'all takes on it. Are the Nets the new beast of the East? I'm gonna give you some stats. Shortened season this year. I think it's 9 less games, 72 games this season. We got the Celtics who are 7-3. The Sixers are 9-4. The Bucks are 8-4. Why is this not in order? Pacers are 8-4. Magic are 6-5. Nets are 7-6. Right now they're listed as a 6 seed. I don't know if that's based on win percentage or whatever. But going into the playoffs, who do you guys see as the Eastern Conference champions? And will face more than likely the Lakers coming out of the West. If you ask the typical NBA fan, can the Nets pull it together? You got 3 players who are ball dominant from time to time. All are going to be looking for their shots. Very different players, but can they pull it together and win the East? Let's start with Jalen.
Can they pull it together and win the East? I mean, I don't think they will. I know talent is a crazy thing that they have right now, but it's like when you've seen teams built like them in the past. I mean, when the Heat first built their big 3, it lost, and they struggled with chemistry. It struggled with who's going to be the top guy, who basically going to be the leader of the team. He would have to step up and tell LeBron, this is your team. When I can't think of it, when even when the Warriors first got together with Kevin Durant, I mean, it was still like at the beginning of the season, they were still figuring stuff out. Now they figure stuff out in the later part of the season, but that's because the core of that team was together for the first 5 years, the first 4 years of Draymond's career and everything. So then you look at like it's the Nets back then in 2000. I don't remember a year, 2013, 14. It was like they didn't mesh well together. It's like teams in the past hasn't meshed well together all the time, and this might just be the case. I think it will be the case. So I don't think they're coming out the East. And also, when you say like who you have to be worried about in the East, I would still say the Heat. The Heat are still the reigning champions of the East. You can't count them out. They're still a tough defensive team. Even though all the players are out right now as we currently talk. And to be honest, I don't think they're going to dethrone the Nets, but the Heat aren't going to be an easy out. So
that's an excellent take. Weez, what do you think?
There's no way that they not supposed to be the beast of the East. I don't care what happened. None of that. Hey, and then the two teams that you mentioned, Jalen, they both had something common. They got to the finals, which means they was the best team in they conference, division, whatever at the time. Know what I'm saying? Because they had all them talented players. The Heat lost in the finals, but they still got there. They was crushing niggas. You forgot that. Know what I'm saying? They gotta go to the finals. I don't say they ain't saying they gonna win it, but they gotta get to the finals. There's no way that they not supposed to get to the finals. I don't see who messing with them.
Let me ask y'all a question. Who's the better big three? Durant, Kyrie, Harden, Steph, Clay, Durant. Who's the better big three?
Steph, Clay, Durant. Just because they complemented each other better.
And Clay's ability to play defense as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Lockdown.
But I think this team can be better scoring wise. I think they can score more points. Because all of them are ISO players. If they play it smart, they can just isolate the weakest matchup.
Exactly. Yeah.
They play the Heat. Who's Tyler Hero checking?
Nobody. I ain't scared of him myself.
They play the Celtics. Who's Kemba checking? And Kemba's a dog. But who is he checking?
One thing I think people really forgetting is Steve Nash and Dan Antoni. Like,
right.
You know how the Suns was. Like, they gonna cook outside. They got all three of them, man. They about to do something. They might all play tomorrow too, so let's keep a lookout on that.
Against the Magic, and that'll certainly be interesting. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. It's simple, yes or no. Can this Nets team beat the Lakers in a 7-game series? Weez, yes or no?
Come on, man. King James, man. Niggas ain't fucking with King James.
Jalen.
I still got the Lakers in the title game, so nah.
I have a bold take, and I try to stay away from takes. The Nets are going to win it all. It's no way in the world they don't win it all.
Only reason I say because like they bench. Like, they got rid of some players on their bench. You know what I'm saying? They still got Joe Harris, Dinwiddie, but I'm pretty sure they going to, I don't think they got enough bench for it. Jeff Green still there. I forgot about my man, Jeff Green.
Yeah, he homegrown.
The Lakers deep, dog.
They are, but here's the thing. One of them don't have to lead the court.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Imagine playing a 48-minute game outside of the time that you got the game locked up. One of them will be on the court 46 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't see Lakers' secret weapon though?
Who was that?
My man THT.
THT? Oh, it's not Danny Green. Oh no, I forgot they got rid of Danny Green.
What's his name, Jalen? Horton Tucker or Horton? Yeah. What's his first name?
Taylor Horton Tucker.
Yeah.
Taylor Horton Tucker.
They done found something in Young Bull. Bull nice.
It will be interesting. I think the crazy thing is I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. We are playing the biggest game we've had since the 90s. and I'm excited to watch their first game. I really am. Harden has to get in shape though. Harden, lose 7 pounds.
KT, you didn't hear him?
Maybe
Did you
17.
hear what he said?
Well, he said he gonna show up in shape, right?
No, he already said he in great shape.
He's in great shape. Mark Henry is in great shape. Oh, okay. I mean,
Who you just saying, Mark Henry? Like some chocolate.
yeah, I actually stole that from Jalen, bro. He sent me a picture of that, man. I was literally no more good, bro. It's gonna be interesting. Just the whole landscape of the East. I think the East is getting better for the longest time, and I'll still say the West is slightly deeper, but the East versus the West, the top 4 teams, it's interesting. I think it's a seesaw. It's not as it's a little bit more even with players like Durant going East, and James Harden going East. Alrighty, so the last thing, we could not finish this episode without discussing the Rockets. I think you all know I'm a Washington Wizards fan. Jalen is a Celtics fan. He's also a fan of talent. Weez likes the Wizards as well. He's also a fan of talent. Alrighty. I think the Rockets are better now without James Harden. And I know people are like, you're tripping. You're smoking something. James Harden, step back Harden. They're better because as a coach, he gets his team back. The media's not getting on their nerves. John Wall got the biggest size chip on his shoulder. I can't wait for them to play the Nets. Cause John Wall, let me check 13. He gonna be in his grill, dog. I'm telling you. It's gonna be a problem. If they can get Victor Oladipo to buy into the system, if Boogie Cousins can get to 75% of what he was, the Rockets can get maybe 8 seed, 7 seed. That's being their ceiling. What do you think? Are the Rockets better now without Harden? Weez, go.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, they ain't got, know what I'm saying? It's all about chemistry at the end of the day. Know what I'm saying? If somebody gonna feel some type of way, make somebody uncomfortable, they ain't gonna want to play to your best ability. So you had to get that cancer up out of there. Harden got what he wanted. Rockets got what they wanted. I think if they keep Victor Oladipo, that'd be a great addition for him because he's a great two-way player. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people sleeping on him, forgot how he was just because he had a couple of injuries in the previous injuries. So I think he got a chip on his shoulder. Boogie got a chip on his shoulder. Wall got a chip on his shoulder. And probably the whole Rockets organization now got a chip on their shoulder. So they're going to have something to prove for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, excellent take. Jalen, talk to me. I know you're going to have an interesting take here.
It's weird because it's like, you take a top 5 to 7 player away from a team, you're like, they might not be, they aren't going to be better. But I mean, like we said, it's all about chemistry. So chemistry-wise, they will be better. Now, on the court, as far as like the whole season, I don't think they will be better, or they would be better without Harden. I think Victor Oladipo will buy into that system, though. As far as making the playoffs, they could, but they're gonna have to not sustain injuries. Christian Wood, shout out to him. He's actually been balling for them. Yeah, he's actually been balling. So I mean, they have a couple of key pieces. So I mean, as far as chemistry wise go, yes, they're better without him.
I think teams who don't have like a number one scorer, so to speak, they got multiple scorers. Like we see how hot the Phoenix Suns are right now because there's multiple people that can score. I think those teams are dangerous, and the Rockets are like that because they still got Gordon, Victor Oladipo, John Wall, and like you say, Christian Wood has been balling. Do they still got Tucker?
Yeah, but he's looking to get traded, I think.
He's looking to get traded as well. So they can get a nice piece for him. The whole landscape of this thing is amazing. The NBA is not sponsoring this show yet, but it's beautiful to have League Pass. We all get to watch the games that we want to watch. What matchups are y'all looking forward to this weekend?
I'm want to see if the that new big three, whoever you say they playing the Magic, that's what I'm
Tomorrow,
looking
yep.
for. And of course, any game LaMelo in, I'm always looking forward to.
Hey, LaMelo is must-see TV. Jalen, any game you looking forward to see this weekend?
I mean, I was planning on watching the Celtics game when they play Knicks, but it's like it's the Knicks. I mean, even though they improved this season, it's still the Knicks, if you're asking me. But I mean, it's not really any game I'm like, oh man, it's must see TV, and really, it might just because the NFL playoffs on this weekend, so you know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And speaking of the NFL, go Bills. Circle the wagon. Any closing remarks before we close out this episode?
Say something. Like, because of Cavs, we ain't really touch on them because obviously nobody cared. But I was telling Jalen this the other day. You know, like how you take your mans on a mission with you?
Yeah.
Cute girl, then a fat girl. The Cavs took one for the team, yo.
Hey, and they must be appreciated. They must be appreciated, man. They had to distract Boom Boom Belinda, man. Hey. They had to distract her. Any closing remarks, Jalen?
Nah, but that's a perfect parallel, Weez.
Absolutely. So this is As Real As It Gets, powered by Real Ones Production, executively produced by Leverett Weez, for our lead NFL analyst, college football analyst, everything analyst Jalen Wilson. I lead NBA analyst Leverett Weez. We look forward to giving y'all more episodes. This one will be a YouTube upload. At some point this year, we will be doing live streams on Twitch as well. It's been an absolute blast. I'm happy we finally got this pilot episode on the ground, fellas. And I look forward to hearing more of y'all real takes. Not this watered down cookie cutter takes, man.
For sure.